Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely Sunday. Almost needs right there. So I'm just going to continue on with the math knowledge section of one of my ASVAB samples that I've seen. But a lot of the concepts that are here can also be seen in the GED, the ACCUPLACER, TEAS test, HESI test, any examination that is going to require some kind of certification from A to Z. So if you're ready to do a little bit of math, let's take things step by step. This is the live for you. So as you guys are coming on in, go ahead and say hi. Let's welcome on in, because I have roughly like 1 hour, at most an hour and 15 minutes before I have to get started on my day with tutoring. So we just might as well come in here. Hey, Laylee, how are you? Is that Ekin? Welcome on in. BSG, welcome on in. So I'm going to take this away so we can get started with our very first problem. So here we go. Solve for x. We have 5x plus 7 equals 6 times the difference of x and 2 minus 4 times 2x minus 3. Is our answer A, 1, B, -1, C, -2, or D, 2? Everyone's like, we're starting right away? I'm like, yep. We all know gas because, we all got stuff to do. So I'm just going to take a little bit of time away from your schedule just so we can break things down step by step. And then when you think you have your answer, because I know there's a couple steps we have to do here, but when you think you have your answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. And welcome in everyone that's coming in. So right now, this is one of the sample problems that I've seen where you ask, where did I get these? I found them online. There's so many resources online. You guys got to do your research. So for this question, it's a continuation from what we did yesterday. So we're kind of working on that math knowledge. So yes, is it working for GED? Yes. Is it for ASVAB? Yes. Is it for ACCUPLACER? Yes. Is it for TEAS test? Yes. Is it for HESI test? Yes. Is it for high school equivalency? That's what the GED stands for us. Yes. Okay. How about the ACT? Yes, you'd still need foundational skills in order to do the SAT and the ACT. All right. Okay. You use AI for this stuff now? Well, here's the thing. You really don't. Because when you take the assessment, you can't, especially for GED, ASVAB, and ACCUPLACER, you can't use a calculator. More so, AI. So there you go. All right. So we got Lucas, love with the small a, saying -1. Okay, you don't get this stuff? All right, well, I'm going to actually break it down and teach it to you. So if you can stick around, I'll actually show you how to get it done. Okay, Gabriel is saying A. Thank you so much. Okay, Quati is saying B. Okay, well, thank you, Ty. Appreciate that. All right, DTC. Hey, book company, welcome back. C. My $sign getting that money. Hey, is saying B. Thank you so much for the follow. Okay, Ephraim. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Ephraim is saying B. If I'm not, can you please break it down for me? I like to make sure I get people's names correctly as much as possible. Now, if you're seeing this and you're just like, I really don't know, you could put a question mark in the chat. You're still part of the, whole situation here. Get with the party. All right, thanks for sharing. All right, Trust, we have B. Screaming. Hey, Screaming, welcome back. Is saying A. Okay, Gabriel saying the answer is -1. All right, Zoe with the follow. Bootsy, hey, Bootsy Collins with C. Okay, thank you for your honesty. Yes, I just started. Yeah, this is the first question. This is a continuation from yesterday. Okay, so you're bad at math? Guess what? You're not bad at math. So let's take a look. So we're trying to solve for x. So on this side of the equal sign, we have 5x plus 7. Don't have anything to combine, don't have anything to distribute. But on the other side of the equal sign, we have our 6. We need to distribute that to everything inside of its parenthesis. And the second parenthesis, we need to distribute that negative 4. The minus sign acts as a negative when we're in algebra, okay? A lot of people try to split it up into two things. No, if you split two negatives, it's going to give you a positive, right? So we have our 5x plus 7, and that's going to equal to our 6 times x, which gives us 6x, and 6 times negative 2 gives us negative 12. So now, slide over a little bit, negative 4 times 2x, that gives me negative 8x. And negative 4 times negative 3, it's not just a minus 3, that minus sign is acting as a negative now. A negative times a negative, that gives me a positive, and this will give me 12. So, if we can, where's my little pieces of paper here? I'm going to cover up the left side so we can focus on the right side of the problem. So if you notice, we have like terms. We have 6x and negative 8x. So if you have positive 6 and a negative 8, my answer is going to be a negative 2x. So think of it this way. You owe me $8. You paid me $6. That means you owe me $2. So now the x's are done. Negative 12 plus 12. You owe me $12. You paid me $12. You don't owe me any money. That's a good feeling. Okay? So now that side is completely done. So now all we have to do is just bring down our 5x plus 7, and it's going to equal our negative 2x. All right? So now let's cover up this so you can focus on this line. So we need to get all our x's on one side of the equal sign. So if you want, we could subtract the 5x on both sides. So the 5x's will cancel out. That's left on the left-hand side is my 7. And now I have negative 2 minus 5x. That gives me a negative 7x. So after we do this, we're going to distribute. Well, not distribute, we're going to divide. So we want to isolate our x. So we're going to divide both sides by that negative 7. So boom and boom. That leaves me with my x equals, and 7 divided by negative 7 will give me negative 1. So you can say negative 1 is equal to x, or you can flip it around and say x is equal to negative 1. So our answer choice for this is going to be B. Okay, we have to watch our signs. Okay, we need to watch our signs. Exactly. Good, Ty. Because remember, there's always multiple ways of getting the same answer. So like if you decided to add 2x on both sides and then subtract 7 on both sides, you can do that. You know, that's perfectly fine. All right. Thanks, Denise. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. So we have 3/4 raised to the third power. So is our answer A, 3, B, 1/6, C, 2, or D, 27/64? Okay, well, thank you. Okay, Poopy saying D. Hey, Lacole saying D, Mo D. Imperfectly screaming. A lot of us are saying D, Nah D, Nance D. Methy is saying 27/64, which is my D. Okay, X is saying D. How are you? Denise is saying D. Ma's saying 1. There isn't a 1. Okay. Okay, Elm is trying to help us out a little bit. User 24 saying A. You're saying it's B. Mama Mandy saying A. Super Cool saying A. Okay, thanks for sharing. Thank you, sharing. Minister Oliver saying D. TJ is saying D twice. Okay, very confident TJ. Love that. Okay, Harvey is saying D. Okay, T to the 4th power is saying D. Okay, Chris is saying B. Nesto is saying D. Okay, you're attempting your GED for the 3rd time. I love it. Yep, never give up. Let's get it going. All right, let's take a look. So, this 3/4, you could change it to a decimal. Why? No need. When you have 3/4 raised to the 3rd power, that means everything in that parenthesis is being raised to the 3rd power. Okay? So 3 to the 3rd power does not mean 9. 3 to the 3rd power means 3 times 3 times 3. Same thing with 4 to the 3rd power. That means 4 times 4 times 4. Okay? So 3 times 3 gives me 9. 9 times 3 gives me 27. Okay? 4 times 4 gives me 16. 16 times 4 gives me 64. Once I got that 27, I want to take a look at my answer choices. I think it will be D, but let me make sure. So once I do 4 times 4 gives me 16, and 16 times 4 gives me 64. Now, do 27 and 64 have anything in common other than 1? Because sometimes these fraction ones, it will get you to a point and then you're like, oh wait, I can reduce it some more. Okay, well it can't be by 2. Okay, think about it. The 2 works for the 64, but not for the 27. Okay, the 27, that's the 3 times table. Okay, so good that it cannot be simplified because the only thing they have in common is 1. So your answer is definitely D. Okay, all right, but you always want to take a look. All right, the 9 works for the 27, but not for the 64. Okay, remember 64 is 8 times 8, not 8 times 9. Okay, all right. Why not 1 over 64? Can 27 divided by 64? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, can it be reduced by 27? Okay. All right. Because if I tried to divide like 27, in order for it to be like 1/16, that means I have to have a number that can be reduced. If it's going to be 1, that means it has to be 27. If I tried to divide 64 by 27, it's not going to give me 16. Okay. All right. So that's why it can't be reduced any further. All right. Okay. Glad you're here to learn. Appreciate it. So let's take a look at 15. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert 6 and 39 hundredths with the TH and the S at the end times 10 raised to the -4th to standard notation. So we're taking it from scientific notation to put it into standard notation. So is it A, B, C, or D? Okay, got a couple D's, Little Blue Junior saying C's. Now I'm getting a C of D's. I got an A, so a whole bunch of D's. Good. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so we got our D's, we got our D's. Okay. All right, whole bunch of D's. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. Now, this is in scientific notation. Here's the key. This exponent, if it's negative, that means you're talking about smaller numbers with a decimal, okay? A is just wrong. Your exponent will never be a part of the first numbers. The exponent always goes with the groups of 10. So A, definitely wrong, okay? Since it's a negative exponent, that means we're dealing with a decimal. That's why B is gone. B is not a decimal form. C is giving us a decimal, but it's not giving us enough numbers. So this is basically saying, here's my original, 6.39. And it's saying I'm moving my decimal place 4 places over, since it's negative, to the left. I'm making this number smaller. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, putting my decimal point, just in case you couldn't see it. And I'm putting down 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay, so your answer is going to be D. Okay, all right. Okay, so when you see a negative exponent and they say to put it in standard notation, you're making this number smaller. If it's a positive number, you're making this number bigger. Okay, hopefully that helps. Okay, all right, awesome. Let's keep going. All right, so for number 16, don't worry if you guys are just getting here. Remember, we started with these yesterday. We finished at 12. So we just did 13, 14. We just completed 15. Now we're here on 16. So 10,000 may be represented as, is it A, 10 to the 4th, B, 10 to the 5th, C, 10 to the 6th, or D, 10 to the 7th? Put your answer choice right inside. Okay, so I'm seeing a whole bunch of A's, a couple of B's. You're taking notes, fabulous. Seeing some A's, seeing some B's, a whole bunch of B's, got some A's. Okay, we have B's. All right, so we have some A's. All right, we're getting some A's. We're saying it's A. All right, lovely. Well, I love to see that all of us know that C and D is not part of it. So 10,000, let me write that out. So 10,000, how many zeros do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So if I moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, that will give me my 1. 10 to the 5,000, or 10 to the 5th, sorry. That means I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. And just like someone said, that's 100,000, okay? When it comes to 10 raised to the 4th power, that is going to be our 10,000. If I wanted to say 10 to the 3rd power, that means I'm involving myself with 3 zeros. That is 1,000. If I say 10 to the 2nd power, that means I'm involving myself with 2 zeros. That's going to be 100. And 10 to the 1st power, that's going to be 1 0. So that'll be 10. So what's 10 to the 0 power? What's 10 to the 0 power? There we go. Oh, I got a couple good ones and a couple, yeah, we're going to have to tweak it. Ooh, I'm seeing a nice little mixture. Oh, okay. So I'm seeing some 1s, some 0s, some 10s. There is a reason why I teach like this, okay? There is definitely a reason why I do this. Now, remember what I said. 10 to the 3rd power, it gave me 3 zeros. 10 to the 2nd power, it gave me 2 zeros. 10 to the 1st power, it gave me 1 0. So 10 to the 0 power, it's going to give me no zeros. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Okay, and if you learn something that second, give me like 5 taps. Okay, if you're just like, oh, I always thought raising to the 0 power give me 0. All right. it's actually going to be 1. All right. So these are those little tidbits that you need to know, because every time they give you a question like this, all of a sudden you're just like, oh, you did have to do all this work, and you didn't. Sometimes you just have to know anything raised to 0 power is 1. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Now, if you also want to be part of my community, not the super fans, I don't know who did the super fans. Whoever did, please cancel that. I'm not sure who it is because it doesn't show me that. It shows me who's my fans. But if you want, you go ahead, hit the orange heart next to my name. And I'm going to see if I can do something. Well, there will be something special coming soon. All right. So let's get it going. Thank you. Because I'm working on something that could be a little helpful. All right. So now, number 17. Okay, what is the area of a room that is 6 feet by 8 feet? Is it A, 24 square feet, B, 32 square feet, C, 48 square feet, or D, 52 square feet? What book is this? I actually got it online. It was just ASVAB. There's like tons of stuff on there. Yep. Not a problem. You're learning? Good. All right. So, let's see. Yep. 5 to the 0 power is 1. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1, except for 0. We'll talk about that later. Okay. So what do we got? Is it A, B, or C? I have a few C's in there. I'm still seeing people responding to the first question. Okay. Can I redo the first problem? Why? I'm just kind of curious. Is it because you came late, or is it because you think it's wrong? Okay. All right. So we got some C's. We have 48. Okay. We have some C's. And if you're unsure of it, put a question mark. Okay. If you're unsure, put a question mark. Because I'm going to show you anyway. It's not like I'm going to say, all right, here's the problem. All right, bye. I'm out. Okay. All right. So let's take a look. All right. What is the area of the room that is 6 feet by 8 feet? They are talking area. That is that clue there. And they're giving you your length and your width. So if we're looking at length times width, that means we're looking at 6 times 8. And 6 times 8 gives me 48. And since it both in feet, sometimes you got to look. Because sometimes they'll trick you up and say this is 6 feet and this is 8 inches. And then you have to convert either something into feet or something into inches. Okay, so always take a look. But we're luckily that both of them are feet, so that'll be our square feet, which gives us the answer of C. Okay, there we go. So, here we are. Going to the next one. So we have -3 to the 3rd power. Okay, -3 to the 3rd power. Notice the negative is inside the parenthesis. Is my answer A, 27, B, -27, C, -9, or D, +9? Okay, have some question marks. Okay, people are still stuck on the 48s. Okay. All right. I tried. So how about this problem? You guys are still stuck on the 48s. What's going on? Okay. Area is always squared. Area is always squared. Perimeter is always just in feet. Circumference is always just in feet because it's just the outside. Whereas when you're looking at area, you're looking at from a 2 dimensions, the length and the width. All right. So we have here -3, just like what I did earlier. That -3 is being cubed. So that means we're multiplying -3 times itself 3 times. So if we want to break it down into sections, we have -3 times -3. A negative times a negative gives me a positive, and that gives me a positive 9. So if I have that positive 9 times my -3, that will give me a -27. Okay. So the answer is B. Okay. All right. Okay, so we definitely have to watch those signs. Yes, you have to understand the rules between positive and negative. Okay. All right. Thank you for the stuff. Appreciate it. All right. Nope. Size doesn't matter when you're multiplying. I think, who said that? Like, doesn't matter for the size. That's what happens when you have a lot of people in here all at once. Okay. How did I get 27? Boom. Right here. Multiply, multiply. There's your answer. So you're adding. Adding and subtracting has a different rule with multiplying and dividing. Okay? Multiplying, when your signs are the same, your answer is positive. When your signs are different, your answer is negative. But when you're adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, you have to pay attention to the direction of the signs. Okay? All right? Yep. It is. No, negative times a negative does not equal negative. That's probably why some of the basic concepts are really hitting you. Okay? Okay, make sure you get to those rules. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the next one. So what is the approximate area of the shape below? Assume the triangle portion is a right triangle. The diameter of the semicircle is one leg of the right triangle. So is the approximate area of that shape A, 26 1/10 square feet, B, 30 2/10 square feet, C, 31 1/10 square feet, or D, 34 3/10 square feet? So this one, I'm going to give you some time. Now remember, if you're taking the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, you cannot use a calculator. So if you're trying to do all this with a calculator, put it down, write it down. You need to practice the way you play. If you're going to take this test, you're going to have to understand how to calculate it by hand. Okay? TEAS test, HESI test, you guys can use a scientific calculator. And then, SATs, you can use calculators now. They allow you to use Desmos. How is that a right triangle? Hey, they're telling you the description. That's what happens with geometry. You cannot believe what you see. Okay? You can't believe what you see. You're going to have to go with the proving. All right. Okay. So you got it. You got A. Okay, you're confused. ChatGPT. Yeah, you can't use ChatGPT on the assessment. Hell, you can't even have your phone in the testing area. Okay, don't get it? That's okay. I'm going to go over it in a second. So if you guys put your question marks, I got you. Some people are giving me A's, some people are giving me D's. Okay, some people are just entrusted that negative 27 is the wrong answer. That's fine. Because here's my thing. Trust me. It's going to be an interesting thing. Okay, Dead Bob saying it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. It's okay. All right. Yep. Okay, you're changing it to B. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. They're giving us some information. So they're saying a couple of things. They want us to find the area. That's one. They're telling us that the diameter of the semicircle is one leg of the right triangle. All right. So this will be a leg. And if it's saying it's one leg of the right triangle, that means this side has to be a leg. But we're looking for area. All right, we're looking for area. Don't forget about that. So we're getting so hung up on it being a right triangle that we're forgetting that we're looking for area. All right, area of a triangle is your base times your height divided by 2. Okay, so if we know we have a base, okay, this could be the base, this could be the base, doesn't matter. But we know we have something by 4. But then here, we need that diameter. The one thing that we know about circles, from here to here, that 3 feet, that's our radius. If our radius, which is half of the diameter, that means this unknown side has to be 6 feet. Because a radius, because the radii from here to here is the same from here to here. That's 3 feet. But if we want this whole entire side, that means this whole entire thing is going to be 3 plus 3, which gives me 6. So it doesn't really matter in this case, what's the base, what's the height, we're going to plug them in. So we have our area. Let's say 6 times 4, which is our h, and we're going to divide by 2. Okay? Notice we don't care if it is a right triangle. No matter if it's a right triangle, an acute triangle, obtuse triangle, the area of a triangle is base times height. They're sitting there, you're sitting here probably like, well, where could I put the right angle? You don't even need the right angle. So you wasted time trying to figure out where to put the right angle instead of answering the question. All right. So now you could multiply 6 and 4 gives me 24 and divide by 2 gives me 12. Or you can simplify the 4 and the 2, which gives me 2, and then multiply those together to give you 12. Regardless, you got 12 squared feet. All right, that's the area of your triangle. Now, we need the area of our circle. But we don't have a whole circle, we have a semicircle. But I know that the area of a circle is pi radius squared. But since we don't need the whole thing, we just need half, we're just going to divide that by 2. So the radius is what they gave us, that 3 feet. But what you could use, because we're going to be using pi, three squared is going to give me 9. So you got pi times 9 over 2. And you're probably saying, well, pi is forever. And my answer doesn't have the answer of pi. So they did some rounding. So what we can use in place of pi is 3.14. Now, You got your 3.14 times 9. And whatever we get for an answer, we're going to divide that by 2. So we have 36, so we have 9, 10, 11, 12, carry over. Then we have 27. For a second, I had a brain fart. 27 plus, I totally forgot what I'm carrying over. All right, so we got 36 is 12, carrying over the 1. Thank you. 27, that gives me 28. But then we have to divide this by 2. So, how many 2's can go into 2? 1. How many 2's can go into 8? 4. How many 2's can go into 2? 1. How many 2's can go into 6? 3. So that means for that semicircle, this, the area of this, is going to be 14.13 squared feet. So what we have to do next is add these two things together. Okay, so you have your 14.13 and you have your 12. So you know this is going to give you a 26. So that's why your answer is A. Okay, so this one, let me unzoom a little bit, required a little bit of details. But what we did was we tackled the area of one, and then we tackled the area of another shape, and then we add those two together. It's just like an ice cream cone. You got your cone, you got your scoop. And what do? You take your cone and scoop and you plop it together. Okay. Okay. Right? Yeah. Because there is a progression. And I'm going to tell you the truth, especially those that are taking the ASVAB. When you're taking the ASVAB, that has a progression level. Okay? So something like this is called composite figures. Okay? But this one is doing just the area. Some other compound figure, well, this is compound figures. Composite figures is when you're looking at the volume of shapes. Now, compound figures, if you're seeing anything like this, you're in a pretty good shape. Like you're in the 60s, high 50s, 60s. Okay? When you start seeing volume, which is the composite figures, and they want you to find the volume of each of those, you're in the high 70s. Okay, so I've had students that recently took their ASVAB and just scored. I had one that scored a 96, and then another person scored a 71, another one 63, I think it was. But my recent one scored a 51. Considering when he first took it, yeah, it wasn't good. You know, he was just shooting for the 31, but he got a 51. So, and he's doing his thing now. Okay. All right. Let's go. 3.14 is the short version or the summarization of pi. Okay. 3.14 is the summarization of pi. Okay. No, a leg cannot be a hypotenuse. When you have, and plus, you're so caught up with the leg and the hypotenuse, that is screwing you up. That's extra information you don't even need. You know that you want to find the area of a triangle. You're not trying to find Pythagorean's theorem. Okay? The side that's directly across from the 90-degree angle, that's your hypotenuse. That's your longest side. The other two sides, they're called legs. They're interchangeable. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. What about praxis? Okay. All right. So now, remember, as we get into the larger numbers, we start seeing more details. Okay. Poorly designed questions? No. All questions when it comes to standardized tests, they always going to give you something that's extra that you don't need. But you have to learn. This is how they divide people out. This is how they want to have people into their institutions. Okay? This is how they do survival of the fittest. This is how they get rid of those that they don't want and those that they do want. Don't forget that. You think everything's so even and cleared? No, it's not. Not at all. Okay? All right. So let's take a look. So we're going to simplify x minus 2 divided by x squared minus 6x plus 8. Now here, those that are taking GEDs, do not leave. Factoring is a 4-point question. That should be easy for you, okay? If you don't understand this, that's why we're here. Let me teach it to you, okay? Right now, this is the free stuff. Okay, might as well take it now, right? GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, factoring is huge. And those that are taking Algebra 2 right now, you guys are working on this right now. Some of you probably already took a test on it yesterday. You know how I know? I tutored a lot of people last week doing the same exact problem. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm chit-chatting, so I can give you some time. So as we're going through all this, so don't say, oh man, this is really hard, I better stop, because you're giving up on yourself. Because if you don't score at least 3 of those 4-point questions, and let's say for GED, 4-point questions are anything with slope, the equation of the line, system of equations, system of inequalities, what was I thinking of? Volume, factoring, any form of factoring, volume of any shape whatsoever. Those are considered 4-point questions. If you skip all those, you're not going to pass the GED. The way the test is designed, that at least 2 or 3 of those questions have to be answered and passed and scored well, obviously, having the right answer, in order for you to pass the GED. Numbers wise, that's what it is. For the ASVAB, you're going to see factoring. Now you're talking about you're in the 60s. Okay, you're in the high 50s, 60s when you see factoring. So that means you're doing really well. All right, because if your goal is the 31, you're doing really well. Okay. Yeah, am I going to show you? No, I'm just going to turn off the live. Would you stop asking these questions? Like, I'm giving people time to solve, and I will be solving soon. Relax. Were you guys not hugged as a child? What's going on? You're all right. Relax. Listen to the music. Right now, I'm feeling like a little bit of Mr. Rogers right now. Okay? All right. Patience, people. All right. So taking a look, we have x minus 2. And this is what's called a linear factor. Can't break it down any further. But our denominator, we have x squared minus 6x plus 8. This can be factored. And it can be factored into 2 parentheses. So since our leading coefficient in front of that x squared is a 1, you don't see anything, so let's assume it's a 1. That means I can break the x squares up into each parenthesis. 1x here and 1x there. So now, this is the toughest part because you have to know your multiplication table. So I'm going to multiply the number 1 in front of the x squared and my constant, which gives me 8. I'm going to rewrite the middle term, which is a negative 6. So what we need to do, we need to think of what two numbers multiply will give me the 8, and those same two numbers add together to give me the -6. So what two numbers multiply together will give me 8 and add together to give me -6? Watch your signs. Watch your signs. Okay. Watch your signs. Okay. All right. We got to watch our signs. That's all I got to say. All right. So let's take a look. So some of you guys are telling me 2 and 4. Okay. Well, 2 and 4 does work for the 8, but 2 plus 4 gives me 6. I'm not looking for a 6. I'm looking for a -6. For those that are giving me 2 times 6, well, 2 plus 6 does work for what? Nothing much. 2 times 6, that gives me 12. This doesn't work at all. This is definitely not our combo. But a -2 times a -4 gives me a +8, because negative times negative gives me a positive, and -2 plus -4 gives me -6. So this is our combination. So what we're going to do with those numbers is we're going to put them inside the parentheses. So we're going to have a -2 for one and a -4 for the other. Okay. So now we're doing division. Taking a look up here. We got division going on. Since we got multiplication facts here and that x minus 2 there, we got x minus 2 and x minus 2. They cancel out to give me a 1. Something has to be in the numerator. Okay? So that means my answer is 1 over x minus 4, because that's what was left over. Okay, so my answer is going to be B. Okay. Why am I wasting time to graph it? No. Can I teach it the linear way? Why? Where did the 1 come from? X minus 2 divided by x minus 2. When they cancel out, because think about it, anything divided by itself gives me 1. Think for a second. 2 divided by 2, that gives me a 1. 5 divided by 5, that gives me a 1. Even if it's an expression, x minus 2 divided by x minus 2, that gives me the 1. Because right now, if I cancel it out, there's nothing on top of the numerator. But we still have this x minus 4 in the denominator. So we have to put the 1 there. Okay. All right. Do we know the value of x? That's not what they're asking for. See, this is what takes very much time consuming. You guys worry about so much. All it says is to simplify. It did not say solve. It did not say substitute. It did not say graph. And you're going to waste all this time doing all this extra stuff. And then the first complaint you're going to have when you walk out the building is, I didn't have enough time. Give them what they want. And here's another thing, recent. When you're taking the ASVAB, they give you about 1 minute to answer each of these questions. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay? Whereas the GED, they give you 1:12 for each question. Okay? Keep that in mind. Do not waste time. All right. Okay. So let's take a look at 21. Okay, let's take a look at 21. So we're simplifying. So you have negative 7 times 4x plus 5 minus 8. Is my answer A, 14x minus 1? B, negative 28x minus 43? C, 30x plus 4? Or D, 7x plus 32? What do we have? So I'm seeing a series of B's, a couple follows. Thank you so much. A whole series of B's, a whole series of B's. Okay. All right, we got some B's, good. A couple follows, thank you. Okay, Davy, I know you want to use Desmos, but you can't use it on the test. Plus, you got some variables in there. Hey, Angela, I see you. Alfredo, good. All right, see you with the B's. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Appreciate that. I got a D from Fredericks. Okay, landlord, VSG, LMAT, nobody. I need for you to change that nobody, air, all the same B's. All right, let's take a look. All right, so first thing, we need to distribute this negative 7 to everything inside of its parentheses. Thank you for checking. All right. So when we do that, negative 7 times 4x, that gives me a negative 28x. Negative 7 times a positive 5, that gives me a negative 35. Minus 8. Notice there is no equal sign, so we are not solving, we are simplifying. So now we need, if I take a look here, right away, I only have one x. So I'm looking at negative 28x. Boom, I'm looking at my answer choices. I have a feeling my answer is going to be B. But then we have this negative 35 minus 8. That gives me a negative 43. Remember, this part, once you see your first part, that's your answer. Circle it, bubble it, click on it, move on. Okay, all the ones that you understand what the question is asking and it's giving you simplified, they do not care that you complete your thought. Why are you wasting time doing that? Now, let me correct this. If you're currently a student in the classroom, your teacher wants to see your work so they can give you some kind of partial credit. But when you're taking these standardized tests, there is no partial credit. It's either you know it or you don't. Did you pick A, B, C, D, some test E, or no? Did you pick the right one? They are not going to take they don't even have extra paper. They give you like a laminated sheet of paper and a wet dry eraser marker. And that's all they do. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. So when you're in the classroom, show your work. When you're not in the classroom and you're just taking this standardized test, dude, just seriously, find it, click it, move on. Because the test is mostly multiple choice, except for SAT, ACT. All right. How to get 43. Okay, this is when you guys have to know your integers. Negative 35, negative 8. Okay, negative 35 and negative 8. They're both negative, so that means you're going to add them together. 5 plus 8, gives me 13. Carry the 1. 3 plus the 1 will give you the 4. When the signs are the same and you're adding and subtracting, you're adding them together and you're keeping the sign. Okay, when you're adding them together. When they're the same, you add them together. When they're different, one's positive, one's negative, you're subtracting and you're taking the sign of the larger number. Okay. All right. It's negative 7 plus 5? No, dear heart. It's negative 7 times positive 5. You're multiplying. Distributive property. Okay. All right. So just take it step by step. All right, so for 22, okay, what is the area of the shaded portion of the shape below? Okay, what is that shaded portion? Is it A, 8 and 9 tenths square feet? Is it B, 10 and 3/10 square feet? Is it C, 12 and 9/10 square feet? Or is it D, 13 and 2/10 square feet? Okay, give us the formula? No. Try to figure it. This entitlement stuff really does not work for me. You just gotta calm it down. Okay. So taking the information, always assume it's not drawn to scale, but taking the information. Okay. So some people think the area of the square, saying 2 pi r. Okay, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Okay. So I'm getting a whole bunch of C's, getting some A's. All right, so see what you can do. See what you can do. How would you tackle it? And remember, you're looking at the shaded portion. If you had to take a guess, it would be A. Okay. Okay, so you're lost now? Okay. All right. So we're saying C, we're saying D. All right. So what is the area of the shaded portion of the shape below? Well, they're giving us two shapes. One looks like it's a square. And how I can tell that it's a square? Well, one, if they're saying from here, this is going to be 1 foot, that's going to be another foot, that's another foot, that's another foot. So if the center of the circle to that point of the circle is 1 foot, that means the whole diameter, that's going to be 2 feet. So if that's 2 feet, that means from here to here has to be a foot, and from here to here has to be a foot. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 feet. So that is telling me that we have a square. So one shape is a square, another shape is a circle. So let's do this. Find the area of both, right? Just like how we did with the ice cream cone one earlier. But instead of adding them together, we want to see what's left over, right? So we will subtract it. So this is when you have to understand your formulas. So we're finding the area of a square, which is your side squared. So we know our side is 4 feet, and we're going to square that. 4 squared is not 8, it's 16. So the area of the square is 16 squared feet. So now we need the circle. The area of the circle, as some of you guys were putting, is 2 pi r. No. That is circumference. We need the area, which is pi r squared. They gave us the radius, which is from the center of the circle to a point on the circle. They gave that to us as 1. So 1 squared is just 1. So we got pi here. So we're basically going to use the approximation of pi, which is that 3.14. And what we're going to do is we have our 16, use a different pen, 16 minus 3.14. Because we want to know what's left in the shaded area. So if I make these into zeros, I'm going to borrow from this 6, make it a 5. This 0 is going to be a 9. And this 0 is going to be a 10. So 10 minus 4 gives me 6. 9 minus 1 gives me 8. 5 minus 3 gives me 2. And we have our 1. So of the answer choices, which one comes close? 12.9. If it was round to the 10th spot. If we want to round to the 10th spot, we're going to look at the hundreds. So with the hundreds, if it's 5 and above, we're going to give it a shove and add 1 to the previous spot. That's how I got 12.9. Okay. All right. 3.14 is coming from pi. Okay, pi, that's the abbreviated version of pi. All right. Okay, we've got 3 more problems. Okay. 3 more problems. So 23, what is the diameter of a circle with a radius of 6 inches? Okay, is it A, 3.14 inches? Is it B, 7 inches? C, 6 inches? Or D, 4 inches? What will be our diameter? What's the diameter of a circle with a radius of 2 inches? Okay. Hey, Michael, just saw you in there. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of D's, a couple 4s, D's and 4s. Yep. Thank you, Nova. Okay. All right, so I got 3.14, got D's. All right. So, remember what I said. If we're at the center of a circle, and there's a point on the circle. I know that's hideous, but work with me here. Okay, this is your radius. Your radius, I know it's not very even. Your radius is from the center of the circle to a point in the circle. Your diameter, okay, is the full length. So if halfway is 2, that means the full length will be 4. Hideous picture, but we got the idea. Hopefully. All right. So, gotta hurry up. What is the circumference of the circle described in the preceded question? All right. So the preceded question, they told us that we had a radius of 2 inches. But they want you to find the circumference. Okay, so you either can use radius or you can use the diameter. What will be my circumference of the circle? Is it A, 8.3 inches, B, 9 inches, C, 12.6 inches, or D, 13 inches? Okay, so I'm seeing some C's, I'm seeing some D's. Thank you so much for joining the fan club. Okay, the circumference formula again, it will depend what you want to use. If you want to use your radius or if you want to use your diameter. Okay, all right, thank you for the question marks. That's it for C's. Okay, we have a little lost. Okay, all right, thank you. It's very soothing. Kind of reminds you of Mr. Rogers a little bit. Okay, so how do we get C? Okay, I'm still lost. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. So, when it comes to circumference, you can approach it one of two ways. You can either use pi times your diameter, or you can do 2 pi r. Okay? You get the same answer regardless. Okay? So if you wanted to do with the diameter, you have your pi times your diameter, which was 4. So that means we're going to use roughly 3.14 times 4. It gives me 16, carry the 1, gives me 5. 4 times 3 gives me 12. And if I wanted to round it, I would have 12.6. And since it's circumference, we're just using inches, not squared inches, just inches. Area is the one that gives you the squared version of your measurements. Circumference and perimeter just gives you the units, okay? So if you tried to do it with your radius, so 2 pi, your radius was 2. 2 times 2 would give you 4. Notice this and this is going to be the exact same thing. So 3.14 times 4 still gives you your 1256. Okay, so you get the same answer, which in this case is C. All right. Is this the type of math that you will see? Yes. Yes. But how if it's not the same? Remember, the radius is half the diameter. If you double the radius, you get the diameter. Okay, that's what we got for like 23. Why I didn't round? I did. That's how we got the 0.6. Okay. Yep. Where did you get the radius? Okay. In the preceding question. Ready? We have a radius of 2. What's the diameter? We got the diameter. This was our diameter. So if you came later, that's probably why it doesn't make sense. But if you were here, I'd be like, we just did that one. Okay. Yeah, you just got here. I got you. All right. So, last question. Last one. So, the expression 4x is greater than 7 can be expressed as A, B, C, or D. Okay, so a bunch of A's, got a B, got some A's, got C's, got a whole bunch of A's, some B's. Okay, now we're starting to get a lot more A's. We got a C, a B, a whole bunch of A's. Okay, got a C. Crazy Life is saying C. We got a bunch of A's. We don't have an E as an option. Okay, we got Michael with my A, Daisy with my B's, Big Al with my A. All right, so we're seeing a bunch of A's, a bunch of B's. All right, so let's take it step by step. Okay, once we say is greater than, okay, is greater than, that means we're using an inequality. So C and D is out. One of the reasons, look at the inequalities. They both have a line underneath. That means greater than or less than or equal to when there's a line underneath. Doesn't say anything about or equal to. So C and D are out. Process elimination. So now, taking a look, we're saying 4x is greater than, okay? 7. So anytime they're saying something is more than something, we have to flip. That means the 4x is going to come here. The 7 is going to come here. And we're going to write our symbol. So we're saying that 4x is going to be greater than 7. That means the 4x, I know that's a less than symbol, but if I flipped it, we got 4x is greater than 7. But if they flip it, the greater than the opening is going towards the 4x. This one, the 4x, this is less than if I read it from right to left. This says 4x is less than 7. Nope. We want 4x greater than 7. All they did was flip it around. That's all they did. Okay. Not all these. These are basically designed for ASVAB and GED, but the concepts can be found in the ACT and SATs. I know. You think they're just going to give you the diploma? Nope. Okay. Yep. Whatever the alligator, how it opens will be greater. Yep. There you go. All right. Practice test coming soon. Awesome. Yep. And then we go back to the calming music. Yes. All right. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these, breaking down concepts. I am going to probably start doing and incorporating some individual concepts, like some instructional things like factoring, because I'm starting to see a lot of students really kind of not grasping that. And then throughout the week, maybe do some more of the arithmetic reasoning, which is the word problems, that everybody has to deal with word problems. So like how to pull the information out, how to break down some of the concepts. So just be on the lookout for that. But if anything, if you're just like, oh, I just got here, what did I miss? Well, you're lucky. Because this is what I do. All right. So if you want any of these, go here. All right. And then if you can do these 5 things, that will be awesome. Really want to get that to grow. It has over 1,000. Last time I checked, it was like 1,010. It's probably a little bit more. I haven't checked it this morning. Subscribers, which is awesome. So if anything, give me a few so I can, I gotta get going. Give me a few so I can upload this, because sometimes TikTok takes a little bit extra time to download things, especially when we're kind of growing into like roughly the 2-hour mark. So if you guys can give me a little bit more likes, if we can, there's 600 and some odd of us. If we can get it up to 50K before I can go off, but I need to go off in the next 3 minutes. So I will definitely need a mad tap from all of you guys while I sit here and explain. Good pace, your think time. Yes. Well, this is what I do. Hello, Francisco. So if anything, okay, that's a prayer account, ads. Okay. All right. So if anything, if you are like currently taking maybe college algebra, maybe you're getting ready for your GED, ACCUPLACER, you just need someone for one time, I do have tutoring available. The reason why I get on these lives is, one, to help, but at the same time to show my tutoring style. This is what I do. Normally in the tutoring sessions, I don't have music because some people find it distracting. But for the most part, it's always like me breaking things down, giving you opportunities to answer questions. You are not supposed to be perfect, okay? So if you're like, come to a tutoring session, you're like, oh, I got some things wrong. Obviously, because if you knew it, we wouldn't be here. That's perfectly fine, right? That's part of the process. So what I normally do, to be transparent, is my tutoring sessions were normally $92 an hour. Pause. But for my TikTok people, if you're following me, I bring it down to 77. Yes, 77 an hour. And am I good at what I do? So far, people are liking it, and the word is starting to spread, especially now it's close to the end of the quarter. So this is usually the time that it gets kind of cray-cray. So there may be a couple of lives I'm going to have to miss because I am doing a lot of tutoring. Example, last Thursday. That was nuts. But if you're not doing a course or if you're not doing anything and you want to achieve your GED and you're looking at the math section, I do have courses for that. And then just be on the lookout because I'm getting some more additional resources to see if I can help out for those that are going to be taking any of these tests for Algebra 1. All right. Yes, thank you. We got it up to like 51. Thank you. Okay, so we got here. All right, so we're going to take this down. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm going to have to take this off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. All right, so be on the lookout. I'll be on sometime tomorrow. I try not to do it during the day because I know a lot of you guys are going to be working, but it might be sometime in the afternoons. Okay, afternoon, maybe early evening. Hold on, never know. But if I get a kid, I'm going to have to take them. All right, everyone, have a lovely Saturday. Oh, Saturday, Jesus, Sunday. Whew, it's already starting. Okay, so have a lovely day. Be safe, and I will see you guys next time. Again, if you have any questions, there's a Service Plus button that you can click on. If not, you can just send me a direct message here on TikTok. Even if we're not following each other just yet, you can still send me a message. I always check those messages as well. All right, and please do not just say hi because I will delete it automatically. Okay, automatically. Tell me what you want. All right. Okay. Love you guys. Take care. Bye now.